Firstly, I would like to emphasize that the policy reflects the government's concerns over the growing drug abuse among teenagers. So this policy is coming right in time. You've applauded the Minister of Education, so I really wouldn't dwell on that as it stands right now. So let's move to the possible um, indicators that might not allow this to fly. Just like you've said, if all of this is to be achievable, it's not just a policy coming on air. It involves some important stakeholders. Stakeholders like the counseling unit in the school, stakeholders like the parent, stakeholders like facilities to ensure that this thing is sustainable in the long run. Because you look at the architect of having to test a student in secondary school. Remember, the students are very, very exposed. And so, if this is not done in a very strategic and in a very intentional way, it might even overturn. And before you know it, what we're trying to manage might go overboard. So, all of this policy makes a lot of sense, but the process at which this policy are enacted is where the problem is. So, you get to talk about the finance. Now, remember, these schools, both the secondary schools, even the private schools, they should also buy into this idea. But government secondary schools, you have students that I would really want to use the word overpopulated, but I've had first-hand experience with them where I got to speak to them and you get to hear, oh, I'm living with a guardian, oh, my parents are not here, I'm adopted. And so if all of this is going to really have much effect as it should be, there is a need for this policy for them to be involved in it. I mean, the parents themselves. Then let's talk about the guidance counseling. Now, for guidance and counseling, I just feel it's a Nigerian thing that we do not appreciate or really emphasize on guidance and counseling. It's a very, very important profession. It's Nigeria that we just give it a lackadaisical attitude because it has to do with mental health. And if this drug abuse thing is going to thrive, if this policy is going to thrive, they really need to work hand in hand with this student. Now, remember, there's going to be a first test, there's going to be a second test. In the middle of all of this, you have students that might be stigmatized. You have students that they're going to be, oh, so you are doing drug, like it's going to be a public thing. So there's a place of guidance and counseling. And so all of these indicators has to be in place for this policy to thrive. If not, the policy might just end up having to do more harm than good.